All right, so what's up there, YouTube? Okay, so today I'm gonna bring you guys on a little trip with me as we build a PC. I'm gonna build my computer today. It's 4th of July. First I'll go through everything that's gonna be in it. I'm gonna unbox everything and then put everything together and then install Windows and go from there. So the system's based around the Ryzen 9 5950 or 5900. Sorry, not 5950. This is the 5900 12 core 24 thread beast of a CPU and the Gigabyte Vision DP motherboard. So I'm going to go over everything and I'm going to tell you guys the reasons why I picked the things I picked as I build it. So I'm going to do a little bit of talking as I build it, but I'm basically just going to build it right here and open everything right here and show you guys what's up. So without further ado, let's get started. Got to get my coffee first. Need my coffee, which is on here. Make them blue. There we go. Blue LED lights. I got LED lights all under the desk so it'll light up underneath. I'm pretty excited. I haven't built I built my last PC on this channel. I took a chance and got the Ryzen 7 1700 back when it very first came out. I pre-ordered it. I took a chance on AMD. I'd been an Intel user for Intel. I built Intel PCs since the 80s and early 90s. And then I built AMD for a while. I built the AMD. I had the 8-bit BP4 dual AMD system with 2 AMD CPUs. You had to have 2 just to have it to be competitive with Intel back then. And then Intel came along with the Pentium 3 or Pentium 4 and just smashed the hell out of AMD. And there was no coming back from that for a while. So Intel dominated until AMD came back with a vengeance with these Ryzen chips. And these things are phenomenal chips. I mean, mine was really good. Mine replaced my Pentium system for editing with an 8-core 16-thread CPU. I was amazed that I was able to edit video, and I was just happy to be able to edit without it crashing. So finally I got a system that I could edit without it crashing. Now I've also I built all my PCs had Lian Li cases since I first found out about them back in the early 90s or mid 90s or something like that. Maybe mid 90s is when I first found out about Lian Li, and all my PCs had Lian Li cases on them. And this is the first one I had. So my case before this was a Lian Li, and it actually had, for the expansion ports, the little blank covers that go over the expansions if you're not using them, and the expansion ports, it had little levers, little aluminum levers that you flip and it would hold them in. It was a brilliant idea. I have a case that had all that. I still have the case. I think it's up in my attic. I still have a Lian Li case, but I went to a Corsair case and I really liked the case being divided. So I had the 540 case, compartmentalized case. So the power supply and the hard drives and stuff are in the back of the case, and then the rest of the stuff's in the front. It keeps it cleaner and neater, and it makes it more pleasing to see. So that was one thing I did by getting this case, and I really like it. So Lian Li came out with a case similar. Of course it's better, so I'm going back to Lian Li. I can't help it. I got to go back to Lian Li. That's where my roots come from. That's the thing I like. My roots. It's not my roots. It's a Chinese company somewhere. But I'm going back to Lian Li, and I'm pretty excited about it for this build. So let's without further ado, let's get at it. Come on, let's go. All right, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Floss, back with another video, and today we're gonna open up the Gigabyte B5. Let me Let me try this again. I'm doing Flossie for everybody that hasn't watched unboxing videos and tech videos. There's a guy named Flossie Carter who I freaking love. I think he's fantastic, but he's always doing like reviews of phones and stuff like that. So every time I see his videos, he starts every video out just like this, and I joke around with people all the time that know him or know of his channel. As soon as you start saying it, they know exactly who you're talking about. So let's give it a go. All right, everybody, it's your boy Floss back again with another video, and today we're looking at the Gigabyte B550 Vision DP motherboard. That feels good in the hands, ladies. You know the procedures. I'm gonna do the beginning of this. Let me see if I can continue this in the fashion of Flossie Carter. This is an AMD 3rd gen AMD Ryzen desktop ready motherboard, not compatible with AMD Ryzen 5 3400G and Ryzen 3 3200G. Actually, it is, because they updated the BIOS. So ignore that, people. Ignore it. It's an AMD socket AM4 B550 PCIe 4.0 ready, NVMe SSD ready, overclocking support. Let's look at the back of the box. On the back, you got stay secure, preserving your data integrity with ECC memory, which is rare in a motherboard of this caliber. Usually you have to go to a step up to the X570 to get ECC memory support, and this one has it built in right in the box. Broaden your horizons, glimpse of the future. PCIe 4.0 hardware design to ultra-fast PCIe 4.0 3.0 X4 M.2 slots. And another thing, I'm not going to do the whole review. Anyway, expand ideas with Thunderbolt 3. So Thunderbolt 3 is another one that most motherboards don't have. This is a creator motherboard. See, it's creator motherboard. So it came with Thunderbolt 3, which is rare. So let's get to the unboxing. Let me get my knife. Oh, there's no tape on it, so I don't need a knife. I don't have any tape. It's not taped up. Ta-da! So get the motherboard out. Oh, it's just a slot. Set the motherboard off to the side here for a second. Let's see what's in the box. CD-ROM, which nobody uses because you don't even have CD-ROMs anymore. Installation guide, and motherboard. So, as Flossie would say, the usual books and shit, pluck them, file them to the side. Inside the bottom here, you've got your Wi-Fi antenna, which I'm not going to use. It's got Wi-Fi, but I got it for the Bluetooth. My internet is right, my main line for my main internet is right here in the room, so I'm just going to connect it with a wire. It's got a G connector, which is your front panel connector. It connects quickly to, that way you can connect all your cables to this and then just plug this into the motherboard. It's a handy thing they started doing years ago on motherboards. Then on the other side, we've got some thermocouples, which are those two. Those are basically temperature sensors. You plug it in the motherboard and place them someplace. Two SSD serial slots, and a RGB light, 4-prong lighting header cable, so you can plug in your RGB, which is unusual. This one here, I didn't even know it had RGB. I didn't get it for the RGB. I got RGB on the board, RGB in the case, but I didn't get it for that. So let's close the box up and open it up and take a look. Oops, I'm bumping my microphone. So we're gonna take a look at this. There it is. Pull it out. There it is, the motherboard. Okay, so let's take a look at the I/O real quick. So you got your USB 2.0, USB BIOS flashback, USB right here. Your DisplayPort in, HDMI out. So DisplayPort in is if you have a video card in the PC and taking up one of your slots, You come off of with a short display port cable, and you run your output from your display port from your PC into the display port in, and then that sends the signal through the Thunderbolt port. So you can have the Thunderbolt plugged directly in your monitor, and then daisy chain from there to other peripherals like NAS storage or something like that, or a fast RAID array of hard drives for editing video, stuff like that. This HDMI port is if you have APU in the, a CPU that has a video card built in. It's got actually graphics built in it, not a video card, but graphics built in. It will send the video signal out through there. I don't know why you'd have that on this board, because it's a creator board. You're not going to use an APU with a creator board, because you're going to use a super powerful CPU like I have. So then it's got a couple three USB 2 ports. The red ports are USB 3.2 Gen 2. There's two of them there. Two 2.5G wireless wired adapters, which is what I'm going to be using. Optical out. There's a antenna for your Wi-Fi, and then your standard audio jacks. So on the board you got some fan headers up here at the top, a couple of RGB adapters, so you can run RGB through the board, which is nice, because this board doesn't have any RGB on it, but it does have the ports for RGB. So if you have RGB in your case and you want to control it with the Gigabyte software, the Fusion software, boom, there you go. It's got a LED readout, which most B550 boards don't have an LED readout for error codes and stuff like that. You got your Q Plus, the BIOS flashback, which is what you need. You need the BIOS flashback to flash this BIOS before you put in the latest CPU, because it won't work. I think the newest ones are coming, the revision 2. This is a revision 2 board, and how I know that is it has USB 3.2 Type-C port, which is right here. That's your USB 3.2 Type-C. 24 pin, couple fan headers. There's 3 fan headers here. There's your thermocouple, so you've got one right here by your memory, so you can run a thermocouple like between your memory slots to see if they're getting hot. That's a handy thing if you're running overclocking your memory and you're running a lot of stuff and you're doing a lot of memory intensive stuff. You want to see if your memory is getting hot. There's no fan on the Northbridge chip, on the chip here, but it's got this massive heat sink with a nice Gigabyte. I think this looks really nice. It looks almost like a wallet. This is real soft touch, like it feels really good. This is nice. You got a communications port, some serial ATA ports. There's 2 here, 2 here. There's a SATA port, a little audio port or something right there. Anyway, USB. Here's your input for your front panel headers. USB 3.2. There's your 3.2 jacks that go in your case. 2 USB 2s. Some more system fans. There's your TPM port. This TPM port is actually the port that Windows 11 is requiring TPM 2.0 for installation. This port right here is for if you have a little a chip, a mechanical one that plugs in. You can actually move it from PC to PC and carry your certificates with you. But I'm not going to do that. This is your PCI 4.0 M.2 slot under here. This is a PCI 4.0 M.2, but it turns to 3. If you use this one, it's 3.0, and it's shared with the graphics processor, which I'm not going to have a RTX 3080 or 3090 in here. And even if I did, it's probably not going to use the full X16, so it probably wouldn't be that big of a deal to have that and that at the same time, because I'm not using it for that. That's just for gaming, and for rendering I'm going to be rendering off of that, so it's not a big deal. It's got another expansion port here at the bottom if you want it like if you want to run an external something or more M.2 slots, you could plug it in here and have a stack of M.2s on it. Couple more fan headers, another RGB, 2 more RGBs. There's another temperature sensor probe right here. Here's another fan header here, and then your audio front panel connectors for the audio. Oh, and then this is a Wi-Fi adapter that's plugged into a little slot here. You can unplug it, take the Wi-Fi out if you wanted to, but why would you? It came with it. Anyway, So that's the board. Next, we're going to open up the processor. I'm going to go through and open up the different stuff real quick and get everything opened, and then I'll start putting the stuff together. I'm going to open it up, show it to you, but see, I'm not. Ryzen 5950X or 5900X. I keep saying 5950. 12 core, 24 thread, Ryzen 9. This processor has been really hard to find. What comes in the box? Not much. You get a big thing here. You know what that's for? With the lower end processors, they come with a cooling cooling fan. This one does not. So it comes with a thick foam block, some AMD paperwork, certified authenticity, and a nice little Ryzen 9 sticker for your case. That's pretty cool. 5000 series. There's the Ryzen 9 5900X. You don't want to touch the pins. I'm just going to set this aside for now. This is the processor. Get to see it. So I'm going to set this aside for just a minute while I get into the next things, because there's no reason to sit here and look at this. But there it is in the box. Set that there. This is the one I'm most excited about, was my memory. Here's your T-Force. I got this memory, the Extreme, because I like bling. I mean, if you like bling, then, you know, get this, because this is the nicest looking memory I've ever seen on the thing. All the sides of the memory is like an LCD screen. It's like the whole thing glows. It glows. It's amazing. But I got the 3200 megahertz model, because that's what this runs at. You can overclock this to 3600, but even the 3600 is overclocked from off of 32. So I figured it'd be safe. 32, if I run it at stock XMP profile, it'll come right up as 3200 and run at the speeds. So I haven't opened it, just pull it out. This is nice packaging too, look. So let me get my knife, open it up. Raw. There's the memory. Wow. They even come with a cleaning cloth because they know these things are fingerprint magnets. From what I hear, the black is much more of a fingerprint magnet. Oh, it comes with, so if you get 4 sticks, they're just in the bottom. That's pretty cool. The box is made for 4 sticks. I got 2 sticks of 64 gigs. So each one of these sticks is 32 gigs, which is also pretty expensive. It was $300 and something for this memory. It was not cheap memory. How do I get this stuff out of here? Okay. It's $300 memory. $300 and something for 64 gigs. 32 gig, 3200 team group. I never had team group memory. It looked really nice. The T-Force. It's got a little. Everybody likes that when you pull that off. So that's really pretty. So the black, the other kind, like the 3600 in black, it's like a fingerprint magnet. This one's not so bad. This thing here is a little bit of a fingerprint magnet. This oh yeah, the silver part, that's what the wipes for, to wipe that off. But I'm not even gonna be touching it. I'm just gonna stick it in the motherboard. I'll peel the other, here, let's peel this other one off. You guys like to see that? You guys like to see the peeling of the thing. So there's the memory, pretty slick. There's a cleaning cloth. All right, let's go to the next thing. I'm gonna set this off to the side. Next is my Sabrent Rocket 4 Plus. It comes with Acronis True Image software comes with it, which is kind of nice. So I'll put that on my other thing. I'm going to take for now, I'll probably take my 500 gig M.2 and put it in this board. So I'll have to make a drive image of it to my Samsung 500 gig SSD and run the other PC off of it, just to have a backup copy of the Windows that I have now So wow, look at the casing on this. It's like a metal box. This is a super fast SSD. This 1 terabyte Sabrent M.2. This is a PCIe 4.0 Gen X4 NVMe. This thing is 7,000 megabytes a second read. I mean, this is fat. This is a, how do I get it open? I have to use a knife to pop it open. I don't have fingernails, so I gotta do it like that. There it is. Unlock the speed. It's got a little unlock the speed thing. There it is. This amazing how small these things are. So this is a smoking fast M.2 for my systems drive, and I'm going to put my games on the systems drive. I normally don't, but with a 1 terabyte I can. So I can put Battlefield 2142 on that. And I can also, you know, swap and put a different drive in the other slot and put some on there. But I'm going to keep the games on one and the my system stuff on the other. Yeah, you got to go to sabrent.com Acronis. Okay, so I'll go to the website and get it. Okay. Next, let's take a look at the Unifans that I got. These are the Unifans, Lian Li Unifans SL120s. These aren't the new ones. They came out with a new model, and the new model is pretty badass. These are white, but they have black cords. Oh, they have little white clippies on them, so you can clip them separate, or you can just do, what you do is you clip one and then they clip together. So this goes on one fan. It just snaps on, and then you have both RGB and your power. So you got RGB and your power cord, and then they just connect together. Isn't that cool? These are really nice fans. I'll probably get another set of them for the bottom of the case. I didn't know how many I was going to be able to fit in this case because of the way the case is made. These are really sweet. Look, they got black Lian Li stickers if you don't like the silver. I'm fine with the silver. Wow, these are nice fans. They ought to be. These are $100 fans. So how these go together, let's get them all out. No, it's just showing you. It's showing you which side has which side's the in and out. These are nice. So they just basically clip together. So you push them in, snap them together. They basically go like this. Should be self-explanatory. Yep, it is. So that's it. They clip together, and then you don't have to run power from there to there. You just run one cable out. So you can put all three together like so. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. You just plug them together like this. Now they're all three together, so they're all three ready to go in the case, and they're really pretty. And then you just take on one end, you take your little plug here, and you snap it in. You just go like this. I like this. Yeah, it goes like this. Go like this. And that's it. Snapped in. Now you have one set of cables going out to your motherboard or your thing, and all three are connected together with RGB, and there's RGB all on the sides and in the fans, and it's got the direction, tells you what direction the air is flowing. So these are nice. These are really pretty. The whole sides are glowing. They're nice. So that's that. What else comes in the box? Unifan software instructions, so you can use their software or you can use your motherboard software. It tells you how to plug them in with a complicated drawing. This doesn't need to be that complicated. They just plug in. And then a little quick description of the software. And then here's a controller. If you want to control them separately, they might have, I think it has, this is if you don't have the software and you don't have a way to control it with your motherboard. Throw the stuff out. Here's another RGB extension splitter. Comes with like two of those, I think. Now there's another different type of RGB on your motherboard, so you can plug them in different ways. screws. One more cable for serial ATA. If you got serial cable, you can just plug it directly into your power supply. Some foam. So these here is where you plug your thing in. It's got 1, 2. Oh, it's got little things to push down on the clips. So you just basically plug this in, and then this is your controller. You plug it in once. Plug your fans into here. Unifan controller box, and then you can mount this anywhere. You can probably stick it. That's probably what the foam pad's for. Yeah, foam pads. If you want to stick this somewhere in your case, you stick it to this, and then stick this into your case. It's got a place for power and LED right here, and then one out power and LED in the back, and another little cable. So look, it's already stuck on there. It basically almost sticks in there. Okay. Next, we're getting there. We're getting there. Put the stuff back so that I can keep track of where everything is. Stick this in here. I'm not going to break them back down. I'm just going to stick all the cables and stuff in here. Not so exciting, but it's still a good thing to have, and it's something that you need. And it's something I think a lot of people forget about. They don't think about the power supply, and your power supply is one of your most important things in your system. You want 80 plus gold at least for any of the things, and this is fully modular, so it's got all the plugs for everything, and it's a cooler master. And this power supply got a bunch of zip ties and tie downs and a plate if you want to put it in an ATX case. This is an SF small form factor power supply. Here's all the cables. It comes with a bunch of cables and a power supply cable, and I've got cable extensions. People complain that the cables were too short, and that's fine because I've got some braided cable extensions that I'm going to be using. Look at the size of it. This thing's tiny. This is a 750 watt power supply, and it's tiny. I mean, look at the size of this little case. I thought that was small. Look at the size of the fan. I mean, the fans are only 120 millimeter. This thing's barely bigger than barely thicker than the fan. This is amazing. Okay, here's my phone. LG V60 ThinQ. It's a little bit shorter than my phone. Obviously it's thicker, but it's not much. I mean, it's not even half as thick as the phone. I mean, look how small this power supply is. It's tiny. This thing's little. It's a 750 watt, and it's so small. This is awesome. It's telling you fan will not spin until a specific core temperature is reached, so the fan doesn't spin. It's got a little sticker letting you know that. So this is awesome. This is awesome power supply. I'm really happy with the power supply. It's really cool. I'm amazed at how small it is. Okay, so that's the power supply. We're getting there now. We're almost to the end of this unboxing part of the video. Antec cable extension sleeved cables. I got these in white because I'm basically doing a white build. The last thing I'm going to do is, I can't get this open. Rah. So there's your white sleeved extension, and I got the ones with the white ends because I wanted the ends to be white too. I want them to be white. I don't know if it comes with combs or not. It doesn't. I'm going to have to get combs separate. I'm going to get some little LED combs to comb them out. So I can make them look nice. But they're, paracord sleeved cables. Pretty nice. There's your 8-pin. There's your 6-pin. Another 6-pin. Another 8-pin for your power. So basically you get one for your power supply, for your CPU, and then a couple for your video card, and then your main power going to your board. So there's the Antec sleeved cables. I'm going to leave links in the description below for everything. So now we're getting to the big thing. So I probably have to move stuff. I was wrong. There was something else I had, which is the Lian Li AIO 240 in white. It's my new AIO 240. I already cut the little piece because I wanted to make sure it was all there. I didn't have time to do the unboxing before getting to this. Bump the camera. So talks about how to put it on, how to change the bracket if you're using AMD. It also comes with a couple nice white Lian Li fans with RGB. They're not as nice as they're not as nice as these, but just to show you what they look like, they're close. They have black in the center already. They don't have the chrome. They're not as fancy. They don't have the chrome pieces on the sides or anything. And they have separate power and stuff for each one. So they don't clip together like the Unifans. The Unifans are awesome because they just clip together. These do not. So you get two fans. You get mounting hardware, the brackets, fan adapt, splitter, screws, all the stuff that you'd need to do it for either Intel or AMD. And then here's the AIO itself. There should be a little silver. Nothing else in the box. Nope. Box is out of the way. Drop the box. So it's got a nice aluminum plate on the side, which is nice on both sides. So it's got an aluminum plate on both sides with Lian Li written on it. And it has a fill port. So you can take this off and fill it if you need to put more water in it, which is cool. Well, not water, but liquid. Oh, here's the magnetic. They had a problem with these when they first came out. This magnetic thing, the magnet was coming off of it. It wasn't built very well or whatever, but this one seems pretty nice. If you don't want it saying Lian Li, if you want to, take off the writing, if you don't want it, you stick this to the front. So I'll show you. So what I like about this one is it has really nice braided hoses. They're not cheap with little end connectors. I put some braiding on mine just to make it nice. I wish these were in white. I mean, why are these in black? But basically, peel a little plastic off. I know y'all guys like that, but you can just put that on there and debrand it. So if you want to debrand it, get out of here. If you want to debrand it and you don't want that on there, you pop that on. If you don't care, I don't. You can spin this to no matter which way your motherboard's facing, you can spin it. It's got little clicks, or you can pop that on there and not have to worry about spinning it or anything. And that's that. Okay. So let's get to the next thing. I don't want anything touching the bottom of this. It still has a place. See, I've seen them where this was scuffed up. This isn't scuffed up at all. It looks perfect. Please remove before installation. Really? I thought we were going to leave that plastic on there. I guess I got to tell everybody everything. All right, so case time. I had to move the camera up and stand up to get this out. Rah. I haven't seen this case in person yet. Sorry about the sound. I haven't seen this case in person yet. This is going to take some. Let's see what this is. Let's see what's in this first box. This is white. This is the Lian Li O1W. Thank you for your purchase. Look right there on the top. We're excited to have you join us in our mission to empower blah 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 PC enthusiasts. And it's got a bunch of different brackets and stuff for moving stuff around in the case, different back plates and such. So my Lian Li cases were always aluminum. This one is not. It's metal and glass, but it's nice. So I'm going to take it out of the box and set it down here. There's no point in me doing this and recording all this because I can't get it out. I can't lift this up into the camera. All right, so here we go. I got this. Look at that. One of the thumb screws was already hanging off the back. Probably in shipping. There's nothing you can do about that. Yeah, much whiter than my, it's much whiter than my old case. So let's get this thing, let's look at the back. Here's the back plate. You can move everything around on this. You can take these and move them up and move this stuff down. You can move stuff around. This is where your power supply goes. This is a little bitty thumb screw. I don't know where this one came from. I'm trying to see. I don't see any out anywhere. Obviously came out from somewhere. It's quite a heavy case, but that's because it's got glass all on it. Let's turn it around. Look. All right. So there's the case. It's got a dust filter in the bottom here. It's kind of a, this thing sticking out. People complain that this was sticking out, but when you got the glass on the front, it doesn't. You don't see it. So there's your mesh dust filter for the bottom. So that's where I'll probably put my 3 fans, is in the bottom. They won't fit, those 3 won't fit in the side, I don't think. Either the top or the bottom. I'll probably put them in the bottom and have those blowing in, these blowing in, and the exhaust blowing out the top and out the back, and then I'll later get a fan for the back. And maybe another set of those for the front, for the top. So there we go. That's the case. Let's open it up. Look inside. I'm pretty excited about this case. So you got 2 USBs, a USB-C, and an audio jack. That's your front panel audio, and there's your USB-C and a nice aluminum button here. It has an aluminum plate down the front, which I like. The original design had a LED screen down here at the bottom. They got rid of that because it was just, nobody was paying attention to that. What I understand is these, oh, you have to not take these all the way out? I might not have to take these all the way out to get this top piece off. So the top comes off. There's a magnetic dust filter on top. Magnetic dust filter up on top. You take this off, it's just a dust filter held in with a magnet for the ones on the top. And what's cool is the way these glass doors come off. They just lift up and slide off. So the glass just lifts up and slides off. So you can set it off to the side whenever you get done. It's a neat design from Lian Li. They always come out with some kind of ingenious little design that just makes it super simple to build the PC and just make it like, just boom, there's your side panels. No screws to take off, no clunky parts to showing or anything. It just pops in these little things. It's done. I'm going to peel off the plastic after I build the system, so plus I don't want to get any scratches on it. So I'm going to lay these glass pieces off to the side and get ready to start building. All right, let's build this thing. Start putting this bad boy together. First thing, I'm going to take the motherboard out of the, I got the case ready, so let this little lever up. We're going to install the CPU first, then we're going to put the memory in, then we're going to mount the motherboard in the case. One step at a time, right? First step, CPU. Second step, memory. Third step, motherboard in case. So when you're handling these memory chips, you don't want to touch it you don't want to touch the pins. You want to basically just hold it from the side. Be very careful. Just hold it from the side. And you're looking for the little triangle. There's a triangle right there. And there's a triangle right there. So this goes just like this. It's kind of hard to see. If you look underneath, you can see the triangle underneath. And that's where it goes right there. So you just basically set it down in there. You don't have to push it. You just set it in. It's in. Flip it down. That's it. It's in there. Easy as that. CPU's in. Next, we're going to go ahead and put the memory in there. I'm going to turn it. No, I'll just leave it this way. Put the memory in. I'll put this back over in here in case I want to stick that sticker on later. I like putting the Ryzen 9 sticker on, or just hold on to it. I don't care about the sticker that much. Let's get the memory mounted. And then we'll go ahead and put the motherboard in the case. Oh, it's already out. So, what you want to do, man, this is so hard to get out. Why is it so hard to get out? It should be in the first two slots here. So, you line up the notch. I think it's A and B. These things are specific. Usually the memory modules are specific. There's channel A and channel B, but I believe these, yeah, here we go. First, B2 and A2. So this one and that one, you split them. It says it right here inside the thing. DDR4, A2 and B2 first. That's what it says, first. So I don't know why A1 and B1 wouldn't be the first one, but it's A2 and B2. So you go here. Oops, I turned it around again. I don't know why I'm insisting on turning it around. So you just push it in. That's it, till it clicks. A2 and B2. That's what it says first. I'm gonna look at the manual and see what it says on the motherboard manual. This is so hard to get out. They put this packaging in here, got it tight. It's almost hard to get out. So you're supposed to put them in the two. You're supposed to separate them. You got to follow the directions on the motherboard. It'll tell you which two slots to put them in. I've seen a bunch of people building these and putting two slots side by side, putting them in the first two slots. It will work, but it's not running at the full speed. It's not running at the most efficient thing. I don't think. I mean, I'm pretty sure it doesn't. So I'm going to open up the manual and look and see what it says about the motherboard, about the thing. Let me look. Let me just look at it real quick. Installation instructions. I'm going to set this box off to the side here. Okay, it says recommended dual channel memory configuration. 2 modules, A2 and B2. That's where I put it, A2 and B2. A2 and B2. That's where it says for two modules. For 4, you just go on all 4. 4 modules goes on all 4. So, yeah, you're supposed to put them in A2 and B2, not the first set. See, you learn something new every day when you're building computers. You're supposed to pay attention to which slots you put your memory in. It will work in the other slot, but it doesn't work the right way. It doesn't work, and it won't work with dual channel memory with one stick. That's what it says. It won't work with one stick. I don't know. I don't know if I believe that, because I've seen them actually work with one stick before. All right. So let's put the. So it's ready to be installed. There's nothing on the back, right? Nope, metal plate. Good. You just drop it right down in here. It's got a little standoff, so I don't have to put on any more screws because it's already set up for ATX. Because it's behind this thing, you can't even see it. So what difference would it make? It'll be easier. I don't have to take that plate off in order to put this cable in if I do it like this. See? CMPCU? CPU, CPU. So this is the CPU power supply for up here. So what I can do is take this motherboard, lift it up, plug in this. You still might have to take this little strap off. Now see that little piece comes off. Still be easier, but this doesn't need to be a white shielded cable. It can just plug in like this. It makes it a lot easier to plug in if you do it with it out of the board, out of the case. What's that at the top? See, this can be the black. I don't care about these cables because you're not going to be able to see them. But see, now I can go ahead and shove these cables down behind here. And I can even put this little bracket back on, but I believe I can just snap that on after the fact. See, this, it's so small up there, you can't see the very top. So I don't really need a white cable up there, because you won't be able to see it. It's underneath the piece. Goes right there. I mean, when I flatten that down, you won't be able to see that cable. It's hidden by this little bracket. Where did I put that little bracket? I'm gonna have to watch myself. Did I set it in here? I set it in here. I wonder it wasn't setting down. So this little bracket, you can take this cover off of it. This covers it up. So basically, like that. See? Now you can't even see that cable. So there's no point in putting a white cable up there where you can't see it. It makes no sense. So now the cable's already in. I don't have to fight that connector up there trying to get that cable in there. That's always a fight trying to push that cable in. Let's see if these are the right screws. That's the only thing. That's the other thing is, I wish they'd tell you which ones go to the which ones go to the motherboard. Because you can accidentally unscrew these standoffs if you put the wrong screws in. That's the right screw. Yeah, it's so far down to those. It's like right up there at the. Oh, I got this toolkit. I got this toolkit and I love it. Look, watch this. You can extend the screwdriver way out, make it long, so you can get down in there. I forgot it did it. So, and it's magnetic, so you just pop it on, reach down in there. Perfect for getting the screws back behind the. Set this up. Now you got to take sure this is a heavy metal heat sink, so you want to take the thermal pad stuff off the back of it before you put it on. So there's already a screw here for the standoff for the M.2. So you should be able to take this. There's some new M.2 retention clips that they make now that just clips over. So you don't even have to take a screw. You don't have to screw it in or anything. You just clip it over. I forgot to put in the M.2, so I'm going to do that now. Just stick it in right here. Pops in, screws down, that's it. Then you screw the plate back on. You don't have to get it super tight, you just have to get it tight enough to hold it on there. Then you put the black cover back on, and it keeps it cool and keeps it looking nice, which I think it does. Looks very nice. There. All right. So this is in. Now start to run, time to run the cabling, hook up the AIO, put this in, and continue on. And then I gotta swap my stuff from there to here. Just my graphics card goes from there to here. Everything else just goes in. So I think I'm gonna put the fans, I think I'm gonna put these 3 fans right in the top end here. I'll put the AIO in the back there and have the hoses come up. I was going to put the AIO on the top just so I can see the Lian Li sign on it, but then I can't put the 3 fans in because they won't fit there. I could put 2 there and 1 there, but that's not, it doesn't look as good. It looks good with all 3 fans. I could put the 3 fans in the bottom, blowing air in up through the thing. Then I could buy 3 more fans and put 1 here and 2 there. Just buy another set of fans and just put the 2 fans up here on the AIO here to there. That would work. I think I'll just stick the AIO here. I don't really need, if it raises up, by the time you put the AIO in and the thing, it's up there. So you can see the Lian Li on the side. Nah, I'll put it on the side there. That'll work. I'll stick these in the bottom. Or out the top. I'll put these on out the top and put them like this, out of the top. That'll look nice. Yeah, it won't fit. 3 of these won't fit in the top with this motherboard in here. Or will they? No. You got to put the AIO at the top. I'm going to have to put my AIO at the top and put these at the bottom. Because this doesn't fit. It doesn't fit underneath this rubber piece right here. It does if I push it down like that. That fit. That's actually, it fits. It's just that little creator thing. It's just pushed a little bit. That'll work. It's just right against that creator thing, which good thing I got that in. You'd never get that. You'd never get that power cable in if these fans were mounted up there. See, and they're behind the thing, so you can't even see those. That's what I'm gonna do. That's where they're going. Fits. That's where I decided to put them. 3 on the top. I'm gonna get 3 for the bottom and leave that there. And okay, so I got the cable in, I got the fans mounted, I got the cable run for the fans. Now it's time for the AIO. So on the AIO, looking at the directions here, you got your thermal paste. You want to keep your thermal paste someplace where you can get to it because you're going to put it on. There's a bracket in here for the AMD. I guess these silver screws go with it, but you don't really need all of them. I'll have to check. And see, there's 4 silver screws. Okay, there's screws with springs. I'll have to get into all this stuff here. Looking at the directions, it looks like basically you pop this on and then it allows you to clip this underneath there and put it down on the CPU. So it goes, yeah, just like this. Oh, then you've got 2 clips, the north bridge and the north and the south, and then the clips go up through there and then you run screws through it. Okay, all right. Just looking at the directions, looks pretty simple. There should be 2 little, wait for the, there they are. So there's the angle plates and the screws and the spring screws that go on there. So is that what goes on it? Yeah, spring screws on the top. So that's it. Okay. So it's pretty simple. So basically you slide this bracket off. Should slide off underneath. This just slides up. That's for Intel. And then this should slide on like this for AMD. That's it. Then you're ready to mount your fan. So once you're ready to mount your AIO, you peel this off, set it aside, stick it to a box, and you want to put a glob of thermal paste on the center. You don't need that much, but I like to make like a little X. Just make sure it fills in pretty good. You don't need to use all of it. You shouldn't use that much of it. Some people are like, oh, you use too much thermal paste. I remember the last time I did one, they were like, oh my God, you use so much thermal paste. I'm like, it'll flatten out and go around the sides, it's not gonna hurt anything. As long as you don't see it. I don't care. Okay. All right, so these clips clip on here. Yeah, like that. One goes there. Yeah, just like that. One goes on the other side. They go over the thing. It doesn't show any washers or anything, so you just basically put it on like this and then just clip it on. You just basically, it just goes on like this. That's basically it. And you take a couple of the screws and screw it on. Spring screws. Just get it snug. Oh, for crying out loud, you gotta be kidding me. All right. That's basically it. Take your Phillips head. You can just screw it down with a Phillips head. Yeah, see, then they stop. They won't go any further. That's it. Yeah. Put it towards the front. I might be able to fish this through the front panel thing. But see, I don't have enough screw. I got one more screw. Where's the screws that came with this fan? Where's the screws that came with the AIO? There should be screws that came with it for screwing the two fans on. But I do not see it. All I see is this cable thing. These 4 screws here. Oh, here they are. Here's the screws for the AIO. Those are the screws for the fan. They're bigger screws and they stop so that you don't screw them all the way in. It's all right. I'll change them. I'll change them. Okay, so I got the AIO set in here. I got the fan screwed on. Now I just got to screw it in. I want to put it right here in the middle, and I can actually slide these cables. If I raise it up a little bit, there's enough room to slide these cables down below there and give me enough room if I want, if I decide to put 3 fans in the bottom. I'll still have enough room to do 3 in the bottom, 2 in the back, 1 in the back there. So I could have 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. I could have 9 fans in this case. That's not bad for such a small case. I can always add more fans later. So let me stand it up and screw this in from the back side. I don't want it falling over. So far it's looking pretty good, isn't it? I think it is. It looks pretty snazzy. Yeah, so I can do it like this basically and give myself enough room. Yeah, it's got to go right there. That gives myself plenty of room. I want it closer to the middle though so that it looks even. These little short screws should be the ones that go in there. See, the cool thing is these are slotted, so I can just slide it wherever I want it and then finish it off. So I can put 2 in it and then just loosen them, slide them where I want them. Just slide it up. I don't want it all the way down there. I want it up like that. I think that looks the best, right in the dead center. That gives me a little gap, air hole in the top and the bottom to run cable, so I can run these cables straight out the back here through that air hole. Let me see. The thing is I have room for fans in the back here. They don't need to be LED, but I could put 2 fans back here and do a push-pull through that radiator. Because there's plenty of room behind this for 2 more fans. And a push-pull configuration, throwing more air through that. So I just wanted to make sure the top of the radiator is higher than the pump. That's the thing you have to do. So this is the proper way to do it. You either mount the radiator on top or on the front. Never mount the radiator on the bottom, because what will happen is there's air inside of every AIO. They can't completely fill them. There's always a little bit of air. If the pump is the highest thing in your system, the pump will have air in it. Air will get trapped in the pump, and you'll hear it gurgling. But the bad part is it's not cooling your CPU as well as it should. That's number one. And number two, it's decreasing the life of the pump because it's pumping air. And when it's pumping air, it's not getting lubricated, so your pump will die faster. I mean, it might take a couple years. These pumps last about, they're supposed to last, AIOs are supposed to last about 8 years. You know, I would say replace them every 4 years. I would say replace them every 4 years, you know, just to be safe. That's it for fans. That's it for fans and AIO. It's all mounted, ready to go. So now all I gotta do is plug this thing up and flash the BIOS, hook all my fans and stuff up here in the back, and we're good to go, ready to roll. Okay, so obviously I've got the PC built. I finally got the thing built, and I did run into a few problems. And the only problem I had, as you can see, the two fans on the cooler aren't working. And the reason why is because it's missing a part. I can't find this cable anywhere. I looked everywhere and I could not find this cable Q on the manual. It's cable Q. It's labeled as Q. It's like a splitter so that you can have multiple fans. I'm looking at the fan here. It shows one fan, but obviously it's got three things. So if it's for the three fan, the one with three fans or two fans or one fan, it's the Q cable and it splits it off. And I had other issues too, because it's showing 4-pin PWIM. That cable looks, coming off the fan, looks like the LED cable. It looks like the cable for the LEDs. I've got those fans with those other cables plugged into a different cable that's powering the fans, and the fan is on. They're running. So I don't understand if that's the PWM cable, then why is it plugging into the, it honestly doesn't make a lot of sense. It's a confusing, this diagram is extremely confusing. But I will tell you that I contacted Lian Li late last night, and I looked everywhere and I looked back through my video and I did not have this Q cable. So I sent them an email and I said, you know, look, how do I buy these cables? I can't find this Q cable anywhere, so I can't get the LEDs working on the fans. Not that it's a big deal. I kind of like it without them because I don't like too much bling in my case. But you want them. I want to be able to turn them on and off. You know, I want to be able to turn them on. I paid for the thing. I want to be able to use it. So I looked through all my cables. I got this cable out. I got this little adapter that has the two prongs and the other thing, and I got the different ways of connecting these parts. There's one with just one and a way to hook up the power. You know, I looked through everything, and I went back through and looked through my video footage here of me unboxing it, and I had the cables pulled out, and I did not see that cable. So I'm assuming that's the cable that was lost. But to their credit, to Lian Li's credit, I emailed them late last night, and the guy came right back to me. Their rep came back on 4th of July now at like 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night. He came back and said, you know, which cable is it? Can you take a picture? I'm like, I can't take a picture of it because I don't have the cable, obviously. But I can take a picture of the manual and show you which cable it is that was missing. And I explained that in my customer service email that I was making a video, and I looked in the box, and as I unboxed it, I saw that there was no cable there. And I gave him my YouTube channel, so it's very possible that he was a little bit nervous that I would come on and say something negative about their system, you know, about their product, if they didn't make it right with the cable. So he said they'll ship it right out. So they're going to ship me the cable right away. So that's fantastic. Anyway, the system, I did have another problem with my extension cables for the PCIe. Like, it wouldn't fit, and then it would fit, and then there was a different cable that I tried to use that has the little splitter with the PCIe that comes in the box that has like the two ports aren't on, and I noticed that one was missing a pin. One of the cables wasn't on it. So I finally found that cable, plugged it in, and plugged in my extension, and boom, it came right on. I kept going back and forth with the thing. Also, I kept going back and forth trying to get the thing to work. I'd take the video card out and it'd come right on, but I couldn't see video, so I couldn't go into the BIOS. Also, I tried updating the BIOS with the Q-Flash BIOS, and let me tell you, Gigabyte needs to do a little bit of work on that. The BIOS needs to be labeled gigabyte.bin. The BIOS that you download isn't labeled that. So it has no idea that it can be flashed from the back of the PC with just a USB stick. In other words, if I didn't grab my phone because my other PC was down, because I'd already swapped the video card out of my other PC into this PC, so I couldn't go online. I had to go on my phone and search on Reddit and find where somebody said about a different one, not about this one, not about this particular board, but about a different board that renamed the file gigabyte.bin and then put it on the flash drive, pop it in the back and hold Q flash, and it'll start flashing up there on the board, and it'll update the BIOS. I was like, why didn't Gigabyte just say that in the README? The README that's included with the BIOS just says the commands. If you're running the BIOS in a command line interface, it doesn't say anything about, if you're running the BIOS updater, nothing about the QFlash BIOS. The QFlash BIOS, nowhere in the manual does it say to rename the bin file for the BIOS gigabyte.bin. Nowhere does it say that. So I was like, how did you know? Apparently they knew because it went passed around, but Gigabyte needs to include that in there, especially if they're selling boards that haven't had the BIOS flashed to work with the Ryzen 9 5000 series. If you can't get the chip to be recognized, this one actually came up. I flashed the BIOS thinking that it was the BIOS issue, and that's why it wouldn't boot, but it was actually the video card, the power to the video card, the plugged in and everything, but it just didn't come on. So finally I got it fixed, worked out. Now this is just the old Radeon RX 580 video card. It's not a new video card, but the prices of video cards is dropping rapidly, so soon I'll be able to throw in a RTX 30 series card in here. I want the vision so that it matches, but I'm telling you, this is quite possibly the prettiest PC I think I've ever built and ever seen, really, in person. The other issue is, and this is what doesn't make sense about this whole AIO cooler deal. I bought the the Unifans. They come with a controller that you have to use. You have to use this controller to control the Unifans, and then it's got a USB plug that plugs back into the motherboard, I guess, to control the controller so that it does the tricks and stuff. That's great, but why don't they make it where the fans that come on the AIO coolers, even if they're not Unifans, can plug into the same controller? So I've got a controller back there that I can't plug those two fans into. I tried. You can plug in the 4 pins, the little 4-pin LED things. You can plug them in, but they don't work. It shows up and it changes the fan speed, but it doesn't work. So I'm not sure. I'm going to take it apart and take another look at it, probably when the part comes, or maybe before then, and see if I can figure out what the heck is going on with the way this is. I think those are the PWM. It doesn't make sense. It looks like I plugged in that one, but the other one that says PWM is the 4-pin that was plugged into the controller. I don't understand which one's which on there. So maybe I need to look at it again. Maybe I'm doing something backwards. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something. I don't know. I tried plugging those two fans directly into the everything, and they come on, they're running, and they ramp up when it gets hot. So I don't know if I'm missing something. I mentioned something about my previous video. I've gotten quite a few comments about it, and where I called the angry photographer stupid. Well, I didn't, and I said clueless. What I'm talking about is he's not clueless or stupid in general. I'm saying that in the context of what I'm talking about the Z50 and the ZFC, he is stupid and clueless when it comes to these cameras. He doesn't use these cameras for video, obviously not. He uses whatever else he uses, and he hasn't done a comparison of the Z50 in video because he says he doesn't care about video. He said on his channel he doesn't care about video. If he wants video, he'll buy a video camera. The only thing he cares about video is, like I said in my video, setting the camera, setting the focus, and sitting in one spot. That's the point I'm making. Yeah, if you're just sitting in one spot, any of those cameras is good. You don't need the better autofocus. You don't need, I mean, USB-C would be nice, because I could say, I don't understand how he missed that. Because if it's got USB-C, you can plug in an adapter and permanently charge the camera, so you don't have to change batteries. Maybe because his videos are a certain length, he's not going through batteries, and he figures, what's the point? I don't really need to. But if you're shooting a wedding or an event, and the event's an hour long, you want to be able to plug in permanent power. It'd be nice to be able to just plug in permanent power right there. Even a big battery pack you can buy fairly inexpensive on Amazon, plug it in USB-C, and boom, you're charging the camera. You're running the camera for as long as the battery pack, like as long as the cards will last. So anyway, that's all I was talking about. I'm not insulting the guy in general. I'm not trying to insult him or call him stupid in general. He's not. In general, he's not stupid. He's a smart guy. But I'm talking about as it relates to these cameras. I get it. Like I've been accused of not knowing what I'm talking about on other things before, on previous topics. And if I haven't used a Fuji X-T4, I'm not going to sit here and claim that the Fuji X-T4 is terrible. If I bought a Fuji X-T4 that didn't have image or whatever, a Fuji camera that didn't have IBIS, and I brought it home and I didn't try the lens or try it walking around with a gimbal or try it in those scenarios and see how the VR works in the lens, and I claimed that it was terrible, and then other users that came back said, hey, wait a second, if you use the VR lens that's made for the camera, it's real smooth, then I would be clueless. I would be saying stuff that is not true. It's just blatantly not true. That's why I said something to him. And his claim that if you say something positive about the ZFC, you're either a paid shill or you're clueless. He called us clueless first. He's the one that said we were clueless. That's exactly what he said. I'm going to go and watch it again, but I'm 99% sure he said you're either a paid shill or you're clueless. So he called me and everybody that likes the Z50 for video, because it has good autofocus tracking, clueless. So I don't get it. And he said anybody that thinks that the camera is an upgrade is clueless, basically is clueless. And it is an upgrade. The first thing I did was gave you 3 things that are an upgrade from the Z50. I love the Z50, but these things would make the Z50 better, and they're included in the new ZFC. That's why I said it. I've got no beef with the guy other than him when he claims whatever he says is the facts is true, and everybody else that doesn't agree with him is stupid. So I kind of, you see what I'm saying? I'm not thinking, I don't think he's stupid. I think he's a pretty smart guy. From his videos, he seems pretty intelligent. So anyway, heck, for all I know, he'd know exactly how to fix this computer. I don't know. I'm just trying here. Anyway, YouTube, give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, thumbs down if you didn't. I did some tests on this thing, and this thing smokes. It's fast. It's fast. It was 3rd fastest of the comparison in multi-threading on Cinebench. It was the fastest on single thread performance on Cinebench of everything I tested. I'm gonna put a picture of it up here. Here's my Cinebench single threaded is the thing that AMD has been, that was the big challenge for AMD, and that's for gaming and stuff like that. But it's also for Adobe. Like Adobe isn't very well multi-threaded. So single-threaded performance is amazing for Adobe Premiere. Anyway, I'll alert you later, YouTube. See ya.